Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror film, Insidious Part 4, The Last Key. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins in 1953, where a young Elise is with her whole family in New Mexico. Her father works as an executioner in a nearby state penitentiary, and even though it's normal for them, what Elise says shocks them. Elise mysteriously knows the prisoner's name, family, crime, and even the years he spent on death row. Her mother instructs the kids to go to their room and comforts her daughter because she believes her daughter to be special with such a gift. As she puts them to bed, the mother reminds her son to use the toy whistle only when he really needs her. While the mother leaves to wash the dishes, the siblings talk about where people will go after being executed in the electric chair. Elise's flashlight goes off, so she sits up to get a battery when she sees her brother asleep on the room chair. Although scared, Elise checks the top bed when her brother wakes up. At that same time, Elise sees a little boy running behind her brother. Elise climbs down the bed ladder and attempts to talk to the boy, convincing him to come out. However, the entity suddenly appears behind her brother, whistling on his toy whistle. The father comes up in a rush after hearing the kid's screams. He barges in and pressures Elise to say no when he asks her whether she saw a ghost. However, when Elise refuses, her father hits her and locks her in the dark basement. While wandering in the dark, a child's voice talks to Elise and tempts her to open a door, directing her to a nearby key. Elise picks up the key and unlocks the door, and a hand with keys for fingers comes out and attaches the key to its thumb. It turns out, a demon tempted Elise using a child's voice, and its name is Keyface. It begins to possess Elise, and the house starts to shake as it does so. The mother goes to the basement to investigate, but she finds Elise shaking in front of a wall. A wire slowly descends from the ceiling and strangles the mother to death. Not long after, the father comes down, only to find his wife's dead body. He rushes to his wife and holds her in his arms. But when Elise tearfully apologizes, he screams, "No!" Suddenly, the now old Elise wakes up from her nightmare. After calming down, Elise updates her journal, full of drawings and writings from her work as a paranormal investigator. Elise's two assistants stay at her house for convenience and take clients via phone calls. A man named Ted calls Elise and claims that he's been experiencing paranormal activities since moving into a house. Elise asks his address, but reality hits her as she realizes it's her childhood home. Elise apologizes to Ted as she can't take the case. Later that day, Elise shares with her assistants how her life in that house was a nightmare because of her gift. Instead of memories, she has scars created by her father and the demon that she accidentally brought into this world when she was young. This demon wants to use her abilities for its malevolent agendas, and it will hurt everyone she loves to get to her. That's why she never wanted to go into the further land, a dark realm beyond the human world. But after Ted's call for help, Elise decides to take the case to make things right alone. However, the two refuse to let her go alone, so the three of them travel to Mexico, first thing in the morning. Ted welcomes the trio to the house, and Elise cannot help but notice that most of their stuff is still there. Ted shares that he didn't listen to the stories he heard about Elise's family and bought the house, but he finally believed the stories after he moved in. Elise shares that she feels a lot of spirits, but she can't differentiate good from evil because there are too many. As Elise walks through the house, she finds the basement barricaded. Ted shares that the paranormal activities occur as soon as he moves in, but he mainly experiences them in her barricaded bedroom. Ted hasn't opened nor entered the room for 3 months. Elise begins to be emotional as she wanders her eyes around her old room. While standing at the door, Ted shares his experiences in and outside that room, still refusing to enter. Ted adds that he bought the place with his life savings, so he desperately needs their help. Later that night, the two assistants put a piece of equipment on Elise to monitor what she sees. Elise stays in her old bedroom with only a flashlight and a Bible. While wandering, Elise stumbles across her brother's toy whistle under their bunk bed, which he had lost since the incident. Elise wears it to remember her brother. She also finds a set of keys attached to her father's old uniform when she sees a person's silhouette standing outside the room. Elise follows it, leading to the downstairs, where the crew sees a pair of feet standing on a table. They instruct Elise to return to the area, but Elise continues to wonder when they see something. It's a woman standing in front of Elise, but only the crew can see her for some reason. When Elise is about to touch her, the woman suddenly appears behind Elise, steals the whistle, and shouts at the crew to help her. The trio immediately rushes to her, and fortunately, she's safe. Elise shares with them that she has seen the woman before in the house during her teenage years. A flashback plays, showing the young Elise cleaning the floor with her brother when she hears a noise. Elise checks the laundry room and finds the woman's ghost. She convinces the woman to come out, so her brother will believe her. Elise's father then comes in, but he doesn't see the ghost as usual. She pleads with her father not to punish her, because it's not her fault that she has a gift, but he refuses. Elise then grabs his face and shows him a premonition of him dying of a heart attack in the future. Elise has had enough, so she runs away from home. The flashback ends, and Elise tells them she has never returned since then. The following day, Elise takes the duo to a cafe that she and her brother used to go to as kids. While there, Elise notices two young women, and shortly after, an old man comes in. As Elise turns around, she immediately recognizes her brother. Elise attempts to talk to him, but her brother upsettingly accuses her of lying and abandoning him to their monstrous father. After that, he storms out and drives away, refusing to listen to Elise. Elise begins to blame herself when one of her brother's daughters apologizes for their father's behavior. The daughter shares that he's a great father, despite his being secretive about his childhood. Elise then gives her a photograph of her brother's whistle, taken in the bedroom yesterday. Later that night, Elise attempts to communicate with the woman's ghost, asking her who she meant when she said, "Help her." They then hear the whistle being blown from downstairs, so they follow it, leading to the basement, specifically from behind a dead wall. Elise walks near it and asks a series of questions. It's revealed to her that she'll find what she's looking for behind the wall. Elise then realizes that the wall is the door she saw as a child, so she rushes to her bedroom and gets the keys. After that, she returns to the basement and unlocks the door, revealing a missing girl chained to the walls. One assistant leaves to get something to unchain her when Ted shows up and holds him at gunpoint. It turns out Ted has kept the girl his prisoner, and the woman's ghost led the team to this discovery. Ted holds them at gunpoint before locking them in and returning upstairs to find the other assistant. He hides in silence and disarms Ted before he can kill him. After that, the assistant pushes a bookcase over onto him, killing Ted instantly. The police arrive shortly after and rescue the girl. The following day, the brother comes to the house with his daughters despite the police signs. He's desperate to find the whistle because of its sentimental value to him. Meanwhile, Elise stays in the interrogation room, telling the detective what she does for a living. During the questioning, Elise suddenly sees the ghost of her niece Melissa behind the detective. Elise calms down and apologizes for freaking him out. At that same time, Melissa hears her father calling her, so she comes down to the basement. However, upon looking around, Melissa realizes that she has been lured. The demon Keyface pretended to be her father before attacking her and inserting a key finger into her throat. After that, Keyface inserts another key finger into her heart, taking her soul away into the further land. Not long after, Elise returns and helps them find Melissa. They find her unconscious, bloody, and chained in the secret cellar in the basement. Melissa's taken to the hospital, and this prompts Imogen, Melissa's sister, to confess to Elise that she can see things too. Because of this, Imogen volunteers to stay and help Elise find Melissa's soul. Elise goes to the basement to look for the ghost and searches the red door to enter the further land and rescue Melissa. Meanwhile, Imogen tries to find the red Bible that Ted held dearly, as Elise believes it can help them. While in the basement, Elise sees something in the exhaust vent of the plumbing system. The assistant removes the hood and takes it, which turns out to be a nightgown. When Elise takes it, she sees a vision of the past. It turns out her father has a woman kept captive in the secret cellar in the basement. She escapes the cellar, and that's when Elise sees her in the laundry room. Elise thinks she's a ghost, so she tells her father about it. But when he checks it out, he sees the woman there, but he pretends there's no one. After Elise runs away from home, her father beats the woman to death. As the vision ends, Elise blames herself for letting her father kill the woman because she thought she was a ghost. Elise then feels something. As she looks down, she finds a string of the gown, stretched and tied to a suitcase in the plumbing pipes. The assistant removes the exhaust, and Elise goes in to examine the suitcase. Upon opening it, she finds the woman's belongings and bones. Elise tearfully apologizes for not saving her before moving ahead. Elise finds more suitcases with remains of different people, indicating that her father was a serial killer, and the woman was just one of his victims. While going through one of the suitcases, Keyface suddenly comes out, attacks her, and then takes her into the further land. Elise sees her younger self the night she unleashed the demon. Elise encourages her younger self to never be afraid of her ability, no matter what. Her younger self scaredly tells Elise that Keyface is the one who opens all the red doors. Elise then yells at her younger self to leave the further land as Keyface appears from behind and takes her. The assistant takes out Elise's physical body from the vent, and the two help each other carry Elise upstairs. With Elise now into the further land, Imogen volunteers herself to go to help Elise and Melissa return. The assistant performs the hypnotism, and Imogen makes an astral projection for the first time. The woman appears and leads her to the red door, where she gives Imogen the whistle, saying that she can't go past that point. Imogen passes by a hallway of doors, while Elise wakes up chained in a prison of her past, which makes her relive the horror of her father beating her because of her gift. She then sees her father, and emotions overwhelm her as she reminisces about her painful childhood. Keyface then gives her a cane to beat him and take revenge. Elise takes the cane, and every hit she gives is filled with hatred that feeds Keyface. Imogen finds her soon after, and snaps her out of Keyface's control. Suddenly, Elise realizes that her father was not a serial killer. He was a puppet of Keyface, just like he did to Ted. Elise breaks free, tells Keyface that she will not feed him with her hatred, and then snaps the cane. Keyface then disappears shortly, before returning with Melissa and Imogen chained to him. He's ready to take their souls when Elise offers herself, but Keyface hurts them. Melissa's physical body is at risk as Keyface hurts her. After her, he moves on to Elise. But before he can hurt her again, Elise's father steps in and apologizes to her before he turns into dust. Keyface charges at her again. Despite of her attempt to stop him, he successfully plunges a keyfinger into her throat, silencing her voice. He then proceeds to plunge another keyfinger into her heart to take her soul. Right then, Imogen tosses her the whistle, which she uses. This prompts Elise's mother to appear to her aid, and with her one attack, Keyface vanishes into the darkness. Elise apologizes to her mother for causing her death, but her mother has already forgiven her. As Melissa's slowly dying, the trio move to leave the further land quickly. Elise opens the red door and witnesses the boy Dalton fall off the ladder. She dismisses him and moves on to find another red door leading to the hospital. Melissa runs to her body and she returns to life. After that, Elise and Imogen open another red door leading to the house. Before she returns, the mother encourages Elise to keep helping people. The two return to their lives in the real world, and they rush to the hospital where they reunite with their family. Elise returns the whistle to her brother, and the siblings finally forgive each other for shutting themselves to one another for decades. Elise returns to her home in California, and one night, she sees a vision of Dalton and a demon looming over him, which frightens her awake. At that moment, the woman Lorraine calls in and explains that she helped her son a long time ago, and her grandson, Dalton, is experiencing the same thing. Elise agrees to help and tells her that she will meet them first thing in the morning. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.